Before we go to the Lotus Eaters Royal Correspondent, our lawyers have asked me to point out that I absolutely am not saying that Prince William killed anyone. Okay, so let's just get that established at the beginning. I don't want any sort of.
So there's no body.
There might be, but I'm not.
Is there going to be investigation of a crime without a body?
Well, that's the interesting thing, actually, whether there'll be any investigation going on, because
legally stay quiet on a lot of this.
No, it's fine, because I've said quite clearly, Prince William, I don't believe killed anyone, but there is something a bit dodgy going on. So let's start with this article here. So this is from a while back. This is back in January. Princess Kate and Prince William cancel upcoming royal tours after hospital stay, and basically it's saying, look, as we know, the King, God save the King, has got cancer and is not feeling too sharp, and Kate also is not feeling too good. And she had to go into hospital and cancel a whole load of appointments and all that kind of stuff, and whatever else that sort of went on. And after that, in the intervening 2 months, people have been sort of sleuthing on this and saying, isn't it weird how the royals are just sort of disappearing from public life? They've just sort of evaporated from it.
Hi folks, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to direct your attention to the aesthetics range of merch that we have on the store. These are beautiful images that I think work really well as posters or mugs. So if you want to support us, going over to the merch store at shop.lotuseater.com is easily the best way other than signing up on the website.
And you can go and look at this is the sort of appointments of the royal family. If I can, I'm going to use that scrolly thing. There we go. So you can sort of see the appointments of the royal family, and it's lots of things like, it's all a bit vague. The King was represented by a lieutenant general at some Thanksgiving thing. The Prince of Wales held a meeting behind closed doors at Windsor Castle, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a bit odd. Mainstream media did briefly cover this. Now, I don't like normally giving mainstream media the oxygen of publicity, because they're a weird bunch. But let's see. Can we go into that video and just watch the first sort of 50 seconds of this video when they were still discussing it?
Yes.
No, first 50 seconds.
Yes. They're going to be doing the school run, etc. A message from two royal palaces yesterday when it comes to Kate and Charles. One in hospital already, one going into hospital.
Yes, so this is unusual to have two announcements in one day, like we've said. So this is Kate, Catherine, Princess of Wales. She's in hospital for 2 weeks following abdominal surgery. We don't know what surgery, but we've been told it's non-cancerous. And then we'll have to clear her diary potentially until Easter. Meanwhile, the King due to go into hospital for treatment for a benign prostate enlargement, which, according to the NHS, fairly regular for men of his age. He's 75, if you're over 50, 1 in 3 men at some point will have some prostate-based issue. But it then means, doesn't it, Kay, that we've got two senior royals out of action for some period of time?
3, actually, because the Prince of Wales has said that he'll be by his wife's bedside for the foreseeable future. They've got 3 small children.
Yes.
They're going to be doing the school run, etc., etc. So who is in charge?
You get the idea that. So even mainstream media was talking about this for a while, and then they just sort of strangely dropped it. But us internet folk, we were sort of looking at this and thinking, well, what's going on? Because we haven't seen Kate in a long time. What's going on? And then to put our mind at ease, Kensington Palace released this photo of Kate there smiling with her children. That's a lovely photo, isn't it? So that's all good. And that was fine, put everyone's mind at ease, until people started looking a bit more closely at it and started noticing things like, there we go. So sleeves sort of just fade into nothingness.
So for people listening, we're looking at a photograph of the kids, and one of the children's arms has clearly, someone who uses Photoshop, I assume that's content fill, has been applied there for some reason.
Yes.
Unless the camera has some serious error, but I can't think of how you do that.
Well, and I mean, click through. I mean, there's a bunch.
It seems like a montage or something.
Yes, there's some weird things going on with the hands and sleeves and stuff like that.
The hand from the
what's weird about that one?
I'm not sure.
The hand from the Addams family is going to appear anytime soon.
Is there anything weird about that one? That doesn't seem that weird.
It does. It's just sitting a bit unnaturally, isn't it?
But for sure,
but
I've seen anything in those. But for this one, I mean, yeah, there's an error there.
Yes, so something has gone on. So anyway, we show you the next. So basically, after people started noticing that, we then got another tweet from Kensington Palace, which appeared to be from Kate, where she says, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion of the family photograph we shared yesterday. Hope everyone is celebrating a happy Mother's Day." So it was, Kate has a bit of a hobby of photoshopping images for whatever reason. So this was all blowing up, and I kind of ignored this story at first, and then because my feed was just absolutely filled with it, I thought, oh right, fine, maybe I'll do a segment on it, but I'll just dismiss it as, look what these silly internet people are talking about. But then I started to dig a bit deeper, and something really, really bloody weird is going on. So for a start, it turns out that Kate's photo comes from a Vogue cover in 2016.
Does it?
Oh yes.
Or is that just her face?
Yeah. No, well, you at first you might think, okay, well, it's the same woman, it's the same face, but it's down to the pixel level. It's the same.
Is it?
Yes. People have actually done the analysis. So, the other thing is the kids appear to be assembled from a selection of photos from a food bank visit in the previous December.
What?
Yes. so the kids are from a food bank visit, and
What are you talking about, man?
And Kate is in 2016. So anyway, so look, let's scroll up. How do I scroll up? Right. So So this guy, he's got this. He's a photo editor. And he sort of looked into it, and he's kind of worked out, oh yeah, no, it is, because he's run all his analysis on it, and he's worked out, no, it is exactly the same down to the pixel level, and you can sort of overlay on the left hand side and the right hand side there, and people are coming back and saying, oh no, look, the lighting is different, the shadows are slightly different, and then he walks them through how to do it, and he says and it's all a bit geeky, right? But apparently you need to use the burn tool, or was it the fudge and burn tool, or some sort of bloody whatever. There's some tools anyway that you can use there's some tools that you can use on the Photoshop, and if you follow them, you can get from one to the other perfectly. And then this thread is just full of other photo editors arguing with him, and then he replies to them and explains how it's done, and then they go away and do it, and they come back and say, oh yeah, bloody hell, yeah, it is. You're right. It's pixel perfect. It is the Vogue photo. Right? It's a bit odd. You're skeptical. Maybe you should go and do it afterwards. And
I could try. I've got the tools.
Yeah, we got a thing, haven't we? Other weird stuff. So there was another photo from Kate Middleton after the first photo was found to be doctored. Another photo came out of her in the car, and when you zoom in on the photo, it looks remarkably suspicious to another photograph.
Yeah. Someone stole her earring.
Yes, the earring is different, and also there's other weird stuff about this photo from the car. But isn't
this the same woman?
It goes a bit deep. I'm not going to go into the. I can imagine your skepticism, but honestly, when you
you said you were there this morning, so
go in and look into it more. And also, this photo, you can't see it from this bit, but like the bricks are different outside the car window, through the car window, and then they are all around the car.
The bricks?
Yeah, the bricks on the wall.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So there's all sorts of sort of weird stuff going on with that. So we are expected to believe that Kate, who is an amateur photoshopist, took the time to go and get a Vogue photo and blend it into her pictures. It's either that or Kensington Palace is
her own children as well.
Yes.
And then messed up.
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing is because you can look at the embedded data in the photo, and whoever edited it did it really quickly because they were in and out quite fast. So they went in there and they were a bit of a wizard at Photoshop, but then they just didn't have a lot of time to spend on it. So they didn't catch the thing with the thing that everybody noticed around the wrists.
All right.
But why is Kensington Palace telling us putting out a tweet in Kate's name, saying that she does a bit of amateur Photoshop, and she's apparently really good at it. Just rushed.
Are you expecting me to say something?
You're using the face. You're using the Callum face. So I thought
Yeah, you might have lost it. I'm confused. What's going on?
Well,
you didn't really prove it to me very well that it is Photoshop.
I showed you.
You showed me
I
that.
showed you a thing. Look
Yeah.
at it. It's the same photo.
It's the same woman, right?
Yes, but she's 8 years older now,
Okay.
and she has a pixel perfect face from a cover shoot 8 years ago.
It is quite similar.
Well, it's identical down to the pixel.
My vision's not that good, but
Well, bloody
Okay.
do the
but then her kids.
go no. Well, the kids presumably look different from 8 years ago, but
You said the kids were from food bank pictures.
yes. Oh, take out. Look,
All right.
this is
Okay,
I wasn't very convinced. All right.
all right. Just go.
Let's say
go
that
have a
it
look on.
has happened. What follows from that?
Well, so you got all of this speculation going on, and there's other weird stuff as well. So this surgery that she went in for, she was in hospital for ages, and Will only visited her once.
Okay.
And her family, her parents and her sisters didn't visit her at all.
That's not normal.
Yeah, that is a bit odd, isn't it? Another odd thing
Were
is,
they on good terms?
the reason I looked at this in the first place is Twitter is just full of this Kate speculation.
I mean, I did notice one of those had like 6 million views. One of
Yes.
those posts.
Yes. It's all over the
Huge.
place with huge views, and yet neither Kate nor Will are trending on Twitter. The media isn't covering it.
Yeah.
About 1 in 20 of the Twitter posts mention Meghan, and Meghan is trending.
Been irrelevant for about 3 years now?
Yes. But nothing else is. So anyway, people are starting to speculate on what the hell is going on. And this chap says that let's suppose you're a member of the royal family and you're having an affair with another member of the royal family. Imagine you got caught, received a hell of a beating or worse, and the person you were having an affair topped himself. And what's he talking about here? Now, I want to be very clear. I do not think that Will killed anyone. Right? So this is I'm purely highlighting some of the things that people are talking about at the moment. But yeah. So this guy, Thomas Kingston, a member of the sort of extended royal family, a bit of a player by all accounts, and formerly Kate's was her sister Pippa. Apparently, she got with this guy. She got with this guy a while.
Okay.
Anyway, so he mysteriously died from a headshot wound with a shotgun on the 25th of February, about the same sort of time as the royals basically went dark.
Okay.
And since Kate hasn't been seen. Now, if you read the statements, the sort of palace statements from this stuff, it sort of heavily implies that it was a suicide, but everyone is refusing to actually say suicide. It just says that he was found dead near a shotgun. That kind of thing. So, that is simply what, people are talking about. I don't believe this stuff myself, but...
So the speculation, just to understand, this guy was screwing Kate, and then William shot him in the head with a shotgun.
That's not my speculation, no.
I'm saying there is speculation out there.
Oh, there is speculation.
Right.
But I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I
also don't like President.
I just think it's interesting that shortly after that happened, you started getting royal-friendly publications coming out with articles like this. What would happen to Prince William if he was charged with a serious crime? So I'll read a little bit from the article, shall I? So there's a little modern precedent for the members of the royal family being convicted of a crime, and no precedent for custodial sentences. One concrete example we have is a minor offence. In 2020, Prince Anne was convicted under the Dangerous Dogs Act when her terrier Dottie bit 2 children in Windsor Park. Anne pleaded guilty and was fined £750. So there is that. Other royals have come close to being placed before a judge. In 2019, the then 97-year-old Prince Philip was involved in a car crash that left the driver and passenger of a Kia hospitalised. The Crown prosecution investigated, but after Philip surrendered his driving licence, no charges were brought. And also, Prince Andrew could have plausibly been charged with sexual offences in conjunction with his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, but it basically paid her off, didn't he? So he stayed out of the witness stand.
Yeah, he's disappeared, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, I don't think that is connected to this.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm
yes.
just finding that weird. Like, I haven't heard about it in a long time.
Yes. So that is odd. I mentioned this to Bo, however, and he assures me that there are precedents going back to 16 something or other that says the king can stand trial.
Yeah, well, that was the Civil War.
Yes.
The whole premise was, can a monarch commit a crime or
Yes.
not? And if yes, well then, the law applies to him.
Well, they chopped his head off, so they obviously took it quite seriously in the end.
But it was more philosophical. Like,
yes.
King
Well,
Charles.
not for him. His head got chopped off.
But it was for him. This was his whole point in the court, which was saying that the law ultimately derives from God and then to me and then down to you plebs.
Yes.
Whereas the Parliament were arguing, no, it derives from the people, which is this like vague concept that we represent. Trust me, bro. So we can cut your head off.
Yes.
I think it's mostly about the idea of absolute sovereignty against constitutional monarchy. And the parliamentarians were Republicans; they weren't constitutionalists.
We'll keep that.
They weren't constitutional monarchies.
Keep that argument handy because we might be needing it soon.
I feel like this is getting somewhere.
It is. You see, other people noted that just after this guy was about the same time that William unexpectedly, at the last moment, changed a trip to Greece. So he was about to get on a plane to go to Greece for the funeral of the King of Greece. You'll remember that, won't you, Stelios? And at the last minute, he didn't get on the plane. And
you mean the late king? We don't have a monarchy for half a century.
They were arguing about this before we even went live.
well, he was going to Constantine's whatever. Yeah, here we go. King Constantine of Greece.
Okay.
Did he die in February?
I think so. But
Well, there you go then.
Yeah, but not this February. Well, some years ago.
You sure?
Let me check.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was a whole debate about the state not funding his funeral.
Okay,
And,
well that could be a tiny
advocates
hole in
of monarchy and others were.
Can you Google that while I move on with that? But anyway, so he was about to get on a a plane to go to Greece. At the last minute, he changed it about the same time that Kate would have potentially been thinking, "Oh, Will's out the country," and would have gone somewhere, and then he didn't go that place, and then he ended up turning up. So I'm not sure what went on. What we do know is a few days afterwards, Will was seen in public with fresh bruising around the neck.
That's very suspicious. By the way, I found it. He died in the 10th of January of 2023.
Ah, so it was last year then.
Yeah.
Right.
This was last year. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
I'm sure things are connected somehow, though, because there are all sorts of threads of interconnecting events and pathways that overlap.
That one might line up, but like I say, this is just what people are talking about. So anyway, so Will gets these sort of bruises on his neck. So people are starting to speculate a bit on this one because it's something like people are thinking. Was Will having an affair? Because this is the sort of thing that men in his line do. Because his dad married a stunner like he did, Diana, and he married Kate. Stunning women. But there are increasing rumours that he's having an affair with one of these sort of horsey faced women. The upper class.
That's what his dad did.
Yes, exactly.
Married a stunner, then had an affair with a horse.
Yes,
and then his stunner died in that car crash, so he married the horse.
Yes, because common men like us look at the ones they marry and think, oh yes. Charming lass, but apparently, if you've got king's blood in you like a bit of the
like
horsey
horse
face.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but then I've got any king's blood in me that I'm aware of, so that could be it. So people are speculating. Did Kate find out that Will was having an affair with Horsey Face?
Who's Horsey Face? Is there a name to this, or it's just
I don't know. I mean,
someone's just okay. We're just assuming whoever she is, if she even existed, it's a horse. Okay.
We need to profile women and find the weird noses that constitute horse face, according to you.
Well,
Yeah, so the pool of suspects is shortened.
But you've noticed that as well, right? Like looking at
Yeah.
upper class British women,
Yeah.
especially near the royal family or high parliament, it's like there's a lot of horse here.
yeah,
It's not just us, right? You've seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
just, yeah, bit long in the bit long in the
teeth.
face. So people on the internet are speculating.
Horse physiognomy.
Yeah, seriously.
People on the internet are speculating that Will was having an affair with Horsey Face, and when Will was due to go out of the country, she popped round to this Thomas chap's place. Will got the tip off, headed there at the last minute, and then there was the shotgun confrontation.
A lot of that seems to have been based on just this guy died by shotgun.
Well,
They-
yes, but we haven't seen Kate since that time.
So we're assuming he was having an affair.
And the royals sort of cancelled all their public engagements about that time as well.
Okay.
And they
Someone
won't say
demand-
suicide.
Someone demanded satisfaction, and there was a shotgun
Yes.
thing apparently.
And Kate was apparently in hospital, but her family didn't bother to visit her. So I am not I am not saying this myself, mind. To be very clear, I'm very much of the view that this is all the sort of fuss about nothing, and it just got a bit too much for them. The dad's ill with his cancer, and the missus was ill, and it just all got a bit on top of you, and they're just taking time off, and he probably just turned around to some aide and said, "Oh, the plebs are speculating that she's gone missing. Can you just bloody Photoshop something and get it up there?" And that's why somebody spent 20 minutes on it and sort of missed something. So I personally don't believe that he offed the two of them in a barn with a shotgun and then Royal
Ran off
Protection
a horse
officers
face
are
and-
covering it up. I am not advocating. I'm just saying that you can see why lots and lots of people on the internet are making the argument that might have happened and why it's all getting a little bit out of control now. So just to come back to this article about, can Prince William be charged with a serious crime? They go on to say, theoretically, every member of the royal family, except the reigning monarch, can be charged with a criminal offence, tried by a jury, and sentenced to jail by a judge. It is worth pointing out that once William is king, he can essentially get away with murder. All criminal trials in the United Kingdom are in the monarch's name. So, yeah, it's always Rex versus the defendant.
Yes.
And everyone,
The king's courts, but the
yes.
king is tried by parliament.
And everyone who is in jail is said to be serving at His Majesty's pleasure.
Yeah.
So, on paper at least, the monarch can do whatever he wants. And actually, this was backed up by a website I'll show you in a minute that was on the royal family's official website, where they basically say, yeah, the monarch can do whatever the hell they want and they can't be charged with a crime. However, what they say is, although civil and criminal proceedings cannot be taken against the sovereign as a person under UK law, the monarch is careful to ensure all their activities in their personal capacity are carried out in strict accordance with the law. Would you like to have a look at that section of the royal website? Yeah, they've recently taken that down. But don't know why. But anyway, so
That's pretty weird.
yes, so
It's
I
also
want to.
not entirely true. Like, we do have precedent that, yes,
Yes.
they can be tried by parliament. Yeah, it was kind of a shit show, but we did do it.
Well, look, to be clear, I'm not saying this happened, but let's say it did go down like that, and he turned up where this Thomas bloke and Kate were carrying it on in revenge for his affair with Horsey Face, and he got a bit worked up about it, and something happened. If you're his royal protection officer, what do you do? What do you do then? Because what you've basically just said is the only precedent we have for this is Parliament tries him and then cuts his head off.
That's if he's king, which he's not. He's a
Yes.
prince.
Well, yeah, but his dad's seriously ill with cancer.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I don't think that happened. But if it did, you can see the royal protection officer would be in a spot of bother around that point. Anyway, like I say, none of this happened. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's just speculation. But the interesting thing is, because the royal family comments so little on this stuff, and they've just been caught in an obvious lie over a Vogue photo shoot, people are starting to speculate wildly, and I'm sure this one story will just go away. So, don't worry about it.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on Leonardo. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.